Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. So I want to give you an update on my Patreon and what's going on here. So let me just run through this with you. You can see I've only got a few patrons so far, but it's starting to pick up, I think. Essentially, what you get by supporting here, it's a monthly contribution, and what you get is access to stuff I'm creating at a more intimate and detailed level. So you get an art download level here where you get high resolution downloads of all my work in progress, notes, things like that. You also get art files from YouTube videos. A lot of this stuff helps too if you do a per request. So if you say, hey, I really like what you did on that one, I'd like access to that, then I'll send that or upload it here through that current tier. So that's one thing there. Pledge 5 gets you level 2 PSD, so you get the layered PSD files, any of the more detailed art studies that I do. You get at least 2 art projects per month on that. Again, it kind of helps if there's a request, but what you can do here is you can literally say, hey, on your next art creation process, what about such and such character? And if I've got time in my schedule and that coincides with everything here, I'll create that character if I'm already backed up with other people giving me requests, So that's kind of like you'll get to see your favorite characters in with that. And then level 3 actually produce a video specifically only for Patreon. So, that again, you can do a video request. If it picks up, I'll add another video. If we get more people to this tier, things like that. So this is a really great way to kind of learn with me as I create stuff. Like I always say with this stuff, it's all about the art journey, and I'm kind of bringing you guys in with that process in which I create stuff and get better, and and I share my success stories or whatever with you. This is a way to be part of that. And then this one here is the one that I wanted to really be specifically addressed in today's video, because this other stuff's been there for a little bit. This is one I just added, and I think it could be very helpful. So essentially what it is I'll do a Google Hangout with you for an hour. It could go a little over. I'm not real worried about that. But, around the $50 a month pledge, you'll get a Google Hangout for an hour or better. And we'll sit there and go over like what it is that you're trying to get past with your own art. So we can do screen shares. I can sketch over your work, back and forth, whatever you need. So it's more like a mentorship kind of thing. And I'm going to start it off and I'm going to keep it to a limit. But, if I find more time to where I can, this is beneficial and I can dedicate more time to it, I'll open this up to more if I even sell out that many. But I think it'll do well for people because I get a lot of requests for this type of stuff. So I figured, well, why not just incorporate it through the Patreon here and see how it goes. So that's what that is. And the other thing I wanted to address with that is, you can ask any questions you got. So if it's a certain program, hopefully it's one I'm using, but if not, I'll try to work through it with you and figure it out. If it's like a certain art style or thing that you're combating, and this doesn't have to be some monthly deal. It could just be 1 month and then you drop off. You just have to remember that with Patreon, a lot of this stuff is reoccurring, so you have to, make sure to cut it off and say, okay, I'm done. I don't want any more. Don't keep billing me or whatever. So that's what it is. So there's my Patreon. This all goes to helping me create more and more art and keep sharing that process with you, whether it be here on YouTube, me sharing the content. And keep in mind that all the images you get here are really high res and they don't have watermarks of any kind. So that's the other thing that you get. You get high res access to all my files there. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to update you on was the Gumroad. So I had to create another Gumroad page, and this one's specifically for the free content. Now, and I want to make sure I also address this. A lot of people go on here and they say, well, it's not free. I have to pay something. The +1 just means it's a recommended, like if you want to donate something for the time I spent to create this and set it up, then fine. If not, it's not a big deal. If you don't have the money, you just plug in a 0 and you check out. So it is free, but it's also, pay what you want if you want to dedicate something to, like I said, to the time spent. So don't feel like you're obligated to. You're not obligated. So what this one is obviously you probably know that I've got the one with all my other content that's like more loaded and it's a lot more paid stuff for my video lessons and step-by-steps and, how to draw, all that stuff. And just so you know, I got a new one getting ready to upload on there on how to draw and render out arms if you're interested in that. But this right here is just, the comic book template that people like. This right here, the Procreate brushes, they're actually the brushes that came with Procreate, but people were asking me like, hey, I can't seem to get the same line work you are. What settings are you using? This is my way to share that. So there's the pencil brush, the ink brush, and the paint brush. Those are the three brushes I used almost entirely, pretty much entirely, except for a few glare brushes that I didn't change any settings to create even that piece right there. So if you click there, you go, I want this, you plug in 0 to your checkout, you got it. I mean, I'm not real worried about somebody giving me a bunch of money for those brushes. These are just my personal settings, really. Now, as I progress, I'll add brushes for this software. One of the next updates I'm going to be doing to this one here is I'm going to do a free hair and fur brush. If you look right here, there's already kind of a hair brush in this one. It's just a spatter brush. Again, that's more of a setting change, but sometimes those settings make a huge difference. So you can get some pretty good hair effects right there. But I'm going to do a free pack that's like, I don't know how many brushes yet, but it'll be a bunch of hair and fur brushes specifically for that purpose, because, a lot of people, they can get stuff right on this, but they can't get stuff right on that. So, that's when I make specific brush packs or whatever to say, hey, this is just for hair, and hair and fur or whatever. And so you can get in there and use this and hopefully address that problem you're having. So be sure to follow me on both if you don't mind, on Patreon as well if you can. But basically, this is just an update to show you what I'm doing here and kind of keep you posted about what's going on. So let me know what you think, and if you got any requests for any of this stuff, what you'd like to see on here, I'm all ears. And as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.